Oh, welcome to Moose Adventures. We are at my house with Sean Michael. He's going to be doing the attic inspection for us, as well as teaching us about attics.
Well, it's separation right there. There's some discoloration here.
Yeah.
I got taped off.
Mm-hmm.
That's a spider.
Get it.
You want to squish it? You got a paper towel? Get it.
Yeah, paper towel.
I could see where he would have thought that it was just patched.
Mm-hmm.
Get it. Gotcha.
Okay. Any other spots that you notice? Because what's interesting too, this is fresh paint.
Yeah.
And they use a high gloss.
Uh-huh.
So it helps kind of hide it.
Hide it?
Yeah. I see homeowners do that a lot.
I think that's the
That's
one that's
definitely a
more
patch.
More noticeable.
What else you got?
I think that's the one that's more noticeable.
Okay.
Ouch. It's really hard to tell with like this lighting.
It is. Typically you'll see, so whenever the roof kind of meets the exterior part of this wall here, that's where you'll get what they call hoarfrost, H-O-R, not W-H-O-R-E. And then it can create condensation, and you'll have hundreds and sometimes thousands of nails poking through the OSB, and so they'll condense on that nail because it's metal, and you'll get like little teeny tiny ice cubes, and then they'll melt and then drip down, and you'll get water spots throughout the ceiling. But it's typically more on the edges.
Yeah.
This is the bathroom.
Yep. Bathroom.
It could just be paint. I don't really see anything going on.
Woohoo.
It looks good. We'll have to check this vent, make sure it's not blowing moisture right into your attic space. But it's tough to tell because they painted the ceiling.
Yeah, because it's glossy.
Mm-hmm.
Very glossy.
Okay, I will grab my ladder. Oh, goody. And then we'll jump up there. Booties as requested. Mm-hmm.
Did say the roof decking is very spongy in some areas.
Oh, that's a moisture issue. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you had a light up here. All right. All right, I'm gonna take off my booties so I can put them back on when I get back down. We can kind of do the same thing where you crawl up here, pop your head through, and then I can tell you what I see. Cool.
I can't flip it. It's not on.
Oh, technology, dude.
It's the best.
All right. Go for it.
All right, so here we're up in the attic. There's a lot of things that you can tell by looking at an attic. So what we're looking at here, this is your exhaust stack. Excuse me. This hooks up to your furnace system. You have a little light up here. Now you have two different exhaust systems. You'll notice this one has a motor. This is a attic fan. Okay. It's all hooked up. And then you have these new vents that you mentioned they put in before. Okay. And then you have kind of one far outside there, but you can see that hole doesn't line up to where that vent is.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get a whole lot of air coming in through there. Another thing that I look for is if I turn off the light, I want to see light coming through the eaves or the edges of the roof here. That's what tells me that you would have ventilation or vents coming through.
The intake.
Yep, for the intake, 100%. But since everything is solid vinyl soffits, you don't see any light coming through, so therefore there's no air coming through. So the only airflow you're really getting is you're going to get air drawn in through one vent and then out the other, depending on which direction the wind's at. This roof isn't original to the house because you see there's a little bit of debris that fell through here. Over here, I don't know if you could see it. So right over there is right above your bathroom. You know that bathroom exhaust vent in the ceiling? Okay, that's the box where they house the fan and the motor and all that. Now the issue with it, there's no hose connected to it and it's not running up through the roof. So anytime you're showering, that moisture is getting pumped into the attic space. And anytime you have darkness, heat, and moisture, you can get mold, which we do have here on this side of the vent. Or you can kind of see that dark discoloration right there.
Yeah.
That's mold.
Oh.
Black
Oh,
mold.
we did get mold.
Yeah.
And Puro Clean came in to
Did they?
spray it.
Perfect. Yeah, because you can see you have mold here, all down there where it's all dark, and then next to that other rafter there, that's mold as well.
I see.
So cool. They killed the existing mold that's on here.
Right.
However, we haven't solved the issue because it could come back.
The cause, yes.
Yep. And then what we want to do is increase the airflow. Yeah, a little bit right here too. The airflow into the attic space here. So we want air coming in through the bottom part of the roof assembly or the attic, and then coming out through the vents. Now how we figure that out is I have to get the net free area of the attic space, which is just the square footage of the attic. And we can utilize our hover tools to get exact measurements of that. And then once I figure out what the NFA rating or the net free area rating is, then I can go to Lamenco, which is a calculator that we use to figure out, okay, exactly how much intake do we need and how much exhaust do we need. Now a couple things to note with the exhaust on these vents, they have to be at the same elevation and on the same slope. So they should all be at the same level on the same side on the rear of the house. Well, you see we have one there on the edge and then one behind me over here too. So that's where you run into that cross ventilation where air can come in through these vents and out the back. Not a huge deal when it's nice out, but when it's raining or snowing, it can actually draw in that snow. And I've seen attics, and we can pull up photos and stuff like that too, where there's actually like snow dunes right on the insulation. And once it melts, this can only absorb so much before it makes it into the interior space of your house. So
okay.
Over here behind you, this is called a baffle. They're the correct size where you want them from one rafter to the other. They just never installed them. The previous homeowner, the previous contractor.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes you'll get people who will say they'll install them. They'll charge the homeowner. They come in here, they'll drop him off, hang out here for a little bit, and then they'll leave and then charge the homeowner. So that's why we always do a follow-up check where once its job's done, I come back out here, I take pictures of the work, and then I show them to you as the homeowner. So you know you're actually getting what you paid for.
Right.
So what next steps look like, I just have to get the NFA rating of this attic space, and then we can sit down and go over solutions and options on, I mean, intake, you're kind of limited to that deck air option, which I'm a huge fan of anyway, because a lot of times too, so let's say you did normal soffit vents, okay? Those go down into the soffits where they kind of dip off the edge of where that insulation is, okay? And you would have to install baffles in between every single rafter because we have to protect it from this insulation and dirt falling over and then clogging those, because if they clog, you're kind of back to the same boat.
Right.
Versus with deck air, it sits above that. You don't really have to worry about that. The drawback with deck air is we got to make sure that we have a correct slope of the roof, because if your roof is too flat, then sometimes water can't make its way back in there. And the other thing we'll need to address is your exhaust. So that's got to go. That would get plugged, shingled over, and then the other ones, actually basically all of them, unless you wanted to do box vents, then we'd figure out, okay, how many box vents do we need on the rear of the house to have adequate ventilation. The other option too is we could do ridge vent, where we cut a slit on the very peak of the roof here. The advantages of ridge vent is that the air escapes from the very top. When you think about the attic during the summer times when it overheats, that air rises. Well, if it rises and it passes this little opening right here, it can get stuck up here. Right? Versus with ridge vent, it comes right on out from the top as heat rises. The disadvantages with them is not every single house is a good candidate for ridge vent, because say I need 50 linear feet worth of ridge vent, which is excessive, and I only have 30 feet to work off of. Well, then we can't do that. So another option would be big whirlies, or other known as turbine vents. And those are super, super nice because they're an active exhaust system. Very similar to like this, to where it actively draws air through there. The only difference is this is very expensive. You have to hire an electrician to run the wiring and get the motor up and running, versus with a turbine, it's wind driven. So as the wind spins, it spins the blades and then it actively sucks out the air. So those are essentially kind of your three options for exhaust.
Okay.
And that's kind of it. The decking looks okay for now. It's nice and sturdy. I mean, obviously you have some areas right there where it's starting to flake off, but I wouldn't be too worried about it at this stage of the game. Cool, let's get out of here before we get pneumonia.